All right, we are live. We are live. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. It is another Sunday night. My name is Clarke, or Devon Clarke, the realtor. I'm a local realtor in the Metro Atlanta area, and beside me, I have a wonderful agent in the Metro Atlanta area as well. I'm going to let her introduce herself, and I'll give the floor to you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lauren Clarke. I'm also a real estate agent here in Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm also a leasing manager at an apartment complex. So, yeah, me and Devon work in real estate and different assets, and we're here today to discuss real estate news with you all. So, we're just grateful and thankful to be here. I know I am. Thank you for having me, and I'm excited for today's conversation.
Yes, I was excited to get Lauren on here. One, she is a native of Atlanta, Georgia. So she sees what's happening. She knows what's going on in the community. She's from Atlanta. So I was like, there's no better person to have on a live. If you guys are joining us tonight, please put in the comments where you are from. Like I always like to do, I like to check to make sure we are live. I see two people kind of inside the live, but I just want to make sure. I was like doing a quick check on my YouTube to make sure we're live so people can hear us. So we're not just talking to ourselves. All right, we are live, as you heard, real quick. So first we are going to chat a little bit about some of the new things that you guys might expect in 2025 in the housing market. It might be around contracts. So if you guys don't know, recently the National Association of Realtors, what's going on, James? This is my dad. Hey, what's going on, James Clarke from New Jersey? And so we're going to first discuss about some of the new agreements you might see. Everything is very state specific. So when it comes to real estate, remember, talk to your local agent in your market. And if you are looking for a referral to the market, if you're trying to find like buy a house or sell a house, Lauren or myself, we can definitely refer you guys as well. We are connected with agents throughout the world, not only the United States, but throughout the world. So let's start. We're going to show a little thing in like a contract, so what you might possibly see contract-wise going forward when you work with an agent. And then we're going to talk about the housing market and more, but everything's about what to possibly expect in 2025. So so me and Lauren, we like to talk about these things just because this is just something we want you guys that you might possibly expect. So let me make it bigger so you can see this. Can you see it, Lauren? Or let me make it a little bigger. Is it big enough?
Yeah, I
Let me
can
know
see
you
it.
guys. Okay.
Okay,
Let
yeah,
me
that's
know
good.
you guys. Okay, perfect. So this is an exclusive buyer brokerage agreement. If you guys don't know, if you're if you're looking to buy a house, you usually sign an agreement with your realtor. Right? Every state, every agreement is different because our agreements are written by the lawyers within our state. And every state is different. So anyway, the only changes we've had in our buyer brokerage agreement, which we want to just bring out to you guys real quick, is the compensation for professional services of our broker. Right, Lauren? So we just had, they just updated this section, which basically says generally compensation to brokers is negotiable and is not set by state law. So again, you guys, compensation is negotiable. You can talk to your realtor, negotiate something that's fair for the sale of your house, right? Or for the buying of the house per se. However, this does not obligate individual licensees and brokerages firms to necessarily negotiate their compensation. So again, as you guys all know, utilizing a realtor is a professional service, and you want to make sure, it's a job. So we want to make sure we pay our people fairly too, right? Compensation to a buyer's brokerage says buyer agrees to pay buyer's broker the compensation set forth below at the closing of any contract to purchase as the term is set forth. So right here, you guys will then put, this is where they would put like the percentage right here, how much, and they might write it out here. And then down here, it just states the compensation for seller or seller's broker to buyer's broker, buyer hereby, then you check whatever one approves or disapproves. Buyer's broker receiving compensation from seller or seller's broker. Nothing herein should be interpreted as promised by seller or buyer's broker to pay or offer to pay compensation to buyer's broker. And then you would kind of put similar stuff here. So we don't want to take too much time. We don't want to confuse you guys. If you have any questions, put it below. But we're just trying to show you what's kind of updated in our contracts. And if you want more information around contracts and everything, let me know. And we'll talk more about it in the future. But you will see, depending on what state you're in, this is in the state of Georgia, you'll see these new type of this commission part kind of put inside the contracts now, as far as agreeing to work with your realtor. Okay, because we don't want to bore you guys too much. And then I'm going to show you guys one more thing. So what you think about that, Lauren, as far as them updating our agreements? Do you think it's good that they kind of put that compensation part in there, or do you feel like they should have looked at it in a different way? What do you think?
I was gonna say with the compensation piece, how it's negotiable. You can negotiate that in the offer too. Like if you're the buyer and you're submitting the offer, you can say in the offer that you want the seller to cover the full percentage for the buyer's agent and see what they say. So just don't be afraid to ask, put it in the offer and see what they say, because that's how it's been working for some time now. The seller has been paying for both the seller agent and the buyer agent fee. And the reason for that was because it just kind of helped the buyer in a sense get closer to the closing table and really be able to close on that house due to just the amount of fees. So yeah, the seller has been in the past been picking up the buyer agent. So just, continue to ask and put it out there and see.
What's going on, Impressive Florals? Hola. Yeah, so like Lauren said, it's been going like that for years as far as the seller kind of paying the compensation. We understand some sellers are like, oh, I don't want to pay, for a buyer's agent. However, like I always tell people, if you don't have a buyer, you can't sell your house. So it's like, how do we go about figuring out what's best for both sides, right? Everything's negotiable. It's how do we work for both sides to win and profit on both angles, for the seller to get their money and for the buyer to get a reasonable price on the house. So I definitely agree with Lauren. And then we'll bring up one more contract, and then we'll get into this whole housing market and what they're predicting in these articles, and we'll have a conversation around that. So the last article, hopefully I bring up the right one, is okay. So the reason why I'm talking about this article and where I was saying with Lauren is that I had some people recently reached out to me and they were like, "Oh, I don't want to sign a buyer's brokerage agreement, excuse me, to tour a property. Like, I just met this agent. I don't know how this agent works. I'm kind of, I just want to fill them up before I kind of get the process going." So in the state of Georgia, they put a touring agreement in place. And so I'm not going to read the whole thing, but basically what this is saying is that you as a buyer, it says buyer acknowledges, buyer represents. Buyer represents the buyer has not signed an exclusive buyer brokerage agreement for the location currently in force with another broker. And it says duration of this agreement. This agreement is entered into, let's say we started today. Today is what, December, what's the day? December
December
what?
15th, Sunday.
Okay. December 15, 2024. This agreement shall expire in 7 days at 11:59 p.m. on, then you'll put the 7 day on there at that time. So it's basically stating that you have, so what's happening now in the state of Georgia is that as far as new rules through our brokerage, they're basically asking us to get an agreement with said buyer to open up doors. And a lot of you guys might be met with this going forward when it comes to agents in your state. They might say, hey, I need you to sign something before I open the door. And I'm telling people, don't be fearful to sign anything as a buyer. Just read it over. Like I always tell people, read it over, ask questions if it doesn't make sense. That way you understand it fully. So this right here is if you don't feel like you don't want to be, quote unquote, I guess, forced to work with this agent right away. You want to kind of get to know them. This allows you to kind of get that moment of having a 7-day agreement. You're not, bound to anything per se, and you don't owe anything for said agreement. However, if you do decide to use that agent going forward, the agent will then have to give you a buyer's broker agreement, which is a new agreement, and then that will then in turn have that compensation in there as far as how much your agent will get paid going forward. So what do you think about this, Lauren?
I was gonna say, even with the buyer broker's engagement agreement, you can set the deadline for that as well. So, you can do 1 month, you can do 3 months, you can do 6 months. So I think the touring one does allow you to have that initial contact and see if you're comfortable and just see how you vibe with the agent. But just know when it comes to the buyer's broker engagement agreement, you also can set the deadline for how long you want that to go as well.
Yep, that's correct. You can set it for, you could probably do the same thing, set it for 7 days with that buyer brokerage agreement as well. So like Lauren said. But all right, so those are some of the possible new forms you guys might see going forward, or what might have changed, or what might look a little different. And then we're going to jump into the next part of the 2025 housing market. So if you have any questions, if you guys want to engage in conversation, this is an open forum. That's why we do the lives over here on this YouTube channel. This channel is to educate and advocate for home ownership, whether it be selling or buying, and have conversation around real estate. So that's the purpose of us going live. So where do you want to start first, Lauren? Do you want to start as far as us talking about what Metro Atlanta market is looking like, or do you want to start as far as this the overall prediction of what Realtor.com and Bankrate stated as far as the housing market of 2025?
I guess we can start with Atlanta, our current market where we both are located. We're both located in Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay. So I'm going to let you start it then. If you want me to pull up anything in the MLS, FMLS, or GMLS, let me know. But I'm going to let you start with what are your insights as far as the 2025 housing market in this Metro Atlanta area?
Well, just to put a few numbers to it. So for November 2024, the average home price in Atlanta was 385,000, whereas in November 2023, the average home price in Atlanta was 407,000. So there has been a decrease. I think overall going into 2025, it's going to continue to be steady in a sense of the prices like from 2020 up until now, they have had a steady increase, a steady rise. So I think it'll continue to go up, but maybe at a slower pace. And then also as time goes on, like builders are also contributing new construction, new build. So because that's one of the main reasons why the prices are where they are right now is due to low inventory. So as long as we have the new construction being built, all of that stuff adds on to our home supply. But that's just to put some numbers to it. So November 2024, the average home price in Atlanta was 385,000. And average means that some homes was sold above that number, some homes was sold below that number. So just because the average is 385,000 doesn't mean you have to buy at that price point. That's just what all of the homes that was bought in this month added up and then divided, and that's what the average was. But yeah.
Hey, what's going on, David? So David is a wonderful realtor out of Nebraska. So if you guys are looking in Omaha, Nebraska, and that Nebraska area, please go over to David's YouTube channel, check out his videos, subscribe to his
Hi,
channel.
David.
So yeah, so what Lauren's saying as far as when it comes to the housing market in Atlanta, yeah. So if you guys don't know, I'm pretty sure you guys kept hearing this, and I know we've been hearing this, Lauren, too, in regards to the inventory. Like we're short of supply, like there's low inventory, there's not that much inventory, and yeah, we know it's kind of creeping up a little bit now, but it's still not at, I guess, quote unquote, an average market where you see inventory at currently, from the from years before per se. So like you were saying, when it comes to the cost of homes, because we have a shorter inventory, what they're stating, what the economists are saying, and then stating also what we're seeing is it's causing prices to go up a little bit more because that inventory is kind of smaller. But like you said too, just because you might say that the average home price is 385,000 per se, or 400 some $1,000 now, that doesn't mean that you can't find a home maybe for 250,000, because it's just averaging out from that the lower homes to the most expensive homes, and they're just, it's an average. So but yeah, let's see. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to put on the screen, we're going to read through this article in regards to what Bankrate is saying as far as the housing predictions of 2025. And you guys let us know what you're feeling. Lauren, definitely chime in as well. I'll read section by section, and then we'll just have conversation. And whatever you guys are feeling too in the comments, please join in the chat as well with us. So let's say, let's kind of start where it says what will happen to the housing market in 2025. And I'll just go to down here, and then we'll have a discussion around this first. It says, after rising just above 8% in 2023, the average 30-year mortgage rate has dipped to 6.8% as early as December 2024, an improvement to be sure, but not the big dip many were hoping for. Many experts do foresee mortgage rates decreasing slowly over the next year, though. Economist, president and chief economist Bernard said, lower interest rates will unleash some of the pent up demand for housing in 2025. Bernard also says this will help keep mortgage rates above the ultra low rate of just a few years ago, but rates will be lower than current levels. Housing inventories have also been improving of late, with a 4.2 month supply at the end of October 2024, according to the existing home sales data from the National Association of Realtors. While that is still below 5 to 6 months typically needed for a balanced market, it's a significant improvement from the 2.9 month supply seen back in February. And there's still growing optimism among home builders too, with lower interest rates granting more potential access to capital. So, what do you feel about that big, all that as far as what they're stating when it comes to not only about the interest rate kind of creating, with the interest rate being higher, it basically most people didn't want to go out, they didn't want to purchase at a higher interest rate, and with it kind of dipping down a little bit, not too far down yet. Where a lot of people predict that if we get to the fives or maybe closer to the fours per se, we will unleash this big mass of people going out to home buy. So they're basically saying that it didn't dip that low, and it might not dip that low in 2025. But they're saying we have a lot of home buyers on the side with a pent up demand, but they don't want to move because of those interest rates being a little higher. What do you feel about that?
Okay, so just to add some more numbers, so the average mortgage rates in 2023 was 8%. The
Mhm.
mortgage rate is currently in 2024 is around 6.7%, and it's predicted that the mortgage rates in 2025 will be around 6.3%. So that's like that small dip that they're referring to. So I feel every dip matters though. So hopefully we can get around 6.3%. And also this year it did go down to like 5.75%. So I think that just as a buyer, outside of timing the market and timing the interest rates, just make sure you're doing what you need to do. So when it does take those dips, you're ready to make the purchase or you're ready to act on it. So just some things that you can be doing in the meantime is saving money. So create a budget for yourself like every month. No, if you want to say 500, 1,000, 2,000, 3, whatever your number is, save that money and work on your credit, which is includes paying off debt and paying your bills on time. And so that way when the interest rates do take that dip that we might not have seen coming, you're prepared to act and utilize that and take it to your advantage. But yeah, as of now, the prediction is that it'll be around 6.3% in 2025.
I'm like we stated on the phone earlier when we had a conversation prior to us getting on. Of course, I had to call Lauren because she is an active realtor. She has currently listings on the market. So we were just having a discussion around basically like everybody's situation is different, right, Lauren? We had said that earlier. So like she said, if you are in the market of trying to buy a house, if you've been waiting on the sidelines because you've been like, oh my God, I've been listening to these YouTube videos, people have been saying that this is going to happen, this is going to happen. We don't know what's going to happen, right? So because we don't know what's going to happen, it's all about what are you trying to do to make it happen, right? Whether you're trying to buy or sell, what are you personally trying to do? Everything is very subjective to you as a person, or objective, I guess, to you as a person, but also about your local market. So you have to be ready for when you're ready to basically step out and make that move, right? So we had somebody here. I think somebody here from Lauren. Hey, what's going on from Atlanta, Gabrielle?
Yep, that's my mom.
Oh, what's going on, Gabrielle?
Hi, mom.
But yeah, so like you said, and then what do you feel about when they came around? They talked about that the housing inventory as well, saying that you know nationally. So this is nationally, like you guys. We'll show you what the inventory is according to the Metro Atlanta area within November because it's kind of behind. They kind of update a lag behind a month when they update our information in the system. But nationally, they're saying that the supply of homes was about 4.2 uh, um, 4.2 monthly as far as that supply at the home of home supplies. And traditionally, to get a balanced market, we need about 5 to 6 months of inventory. So, what do you feel about that? Because we have been kind of seeing, like you said, some new construction popping up down here in this Metro Atlanta area. So, do you feel like if they create more inventory and more affordable inventory, do you feel like more people would kind of set out there to buy some homes?
Yes, I would. But like can you explain in a sense of when they say, "Oh, we have 3 months supply of real estate. We have 4 month, 5 month supply. Like,
Yeah, no problem. So if you guys don't know, so we'll head over to our thing too. So we'll so what it means by this is how much supply. I'm gonna just say it right here. What's going on, Chloe? First time tuning in. I'm in San Diego. Great info. I just subscribed. Oh, thank you, Chloe. Thanks for subscribing. We
hi,
appreciate you over here.
Chloe. Yes, thank you for joining in. Thank you, Debbie, for joining in.
Yes. Hey, Debbie. Debbie is wonderful as well. So Debbie is a mod over in Christina Smallhorn's channel on YouTube, real estate channel. And she's one of the mods, and she's wonderful as well. Debbie is wonderful. So if you guys get an opportunity, go over and subscribe to their channels as well. You know, we gotta show love back and forth, back and forth. She said, finally caught you live. Oh, well, I'm glad you're here. So basically they're stating that she said, hey David. Yeah, David's in the chat too. So basically, when it comes to them talking about 4.2 months of supply at the end of that, let's just get what we'll do so you guys will get more. I feel like it's better when we see it in writing. So we'll just say what does, because if I say you might be like, what does it mean when they say, sorry months supply and real estate. So then that way we can all see it kind of written in bold. So then that way you guys can because I feel like sometimes when I talk, I talk so fast that I don't think people probably like, wait, is he telling me, is he saying it? So where we're going to do, we're going to read it together so that way you guys can get more of a indication of what it means when it refers to months of supply. So it says in real estate, months of supply refers to how many months it would take to sell the current inventory of homes for sale at the current sales rate. It's calculated by dividing the total number of homes for sale by the number of homes sold in 1 month. I know, it's the people are like, what? And so it says months of supply is a key indicator of the health of the real estate market and can help determine if it's a buyer's market, a seller's market, or a balanced market. So typically when they say months of supply, so say if it's, he said, what's going on, MH08? It's late and after hours party. Yes, it's an after hours party. Yes, come on over.
Yes,
So
we
typically,
giving y'all this real estate knowledge before you go to sleep tonight.
okay, and then tomorrow morning, wake up with just feeling so inspired. Hopefully, um, so basically, and so to understand it is that if you have balanced market is usually between, typically they say 4 to 6 months of supply, or 5. Now they're saying 5 to 6 months of supply according to the economist. However, if it's lower than that amount, then that's typically considered a seller's market, because if you're less than 4 months of supply on the market, that means that there's less houses per se, but you have a lot of people trying to buy. So now we're in the seller's market. So the seller actually has more leverage because more people are trying to buy. But or hopefully they're trying to buy. And then if
So
we
right
have,
now, what kind of market would you say would you feel like America is in, but also Atlanta is in? A seller's market, or is it balanced, or buyers?
so according to, if we look at our data in Atlanta, and I'll show you guys our data, and then if you look into, so according to the nation, quote unquote, statistics, it stands at 4.2. So if you utilize that particular layout of what the market is kind of doing with months of supply, it would typically say that we're in a quote unquote still a seller's market. However, we feel like it's weird because it's a seller's market and we're kind of edging towards a balanced market, but yet it's a lot of the buyers right now still have the upper hand because there's less people buying. So that's where it's kind of getting tricky right now, because it's like it's not really a quote unquote considered a buyer's market when it comes to how they kind of break stuff down. But because there's not as many buyers per se buying right now, because everybody's kind of on the sideline just because of the interest rates, you're kind of seeing a mixed type of situation happening right now. So let me
Yeah.
see.
Cause it's like I feel like overall there's an affordability issue going on right now with true people truly being able to afford houses. However, houses are still so in demand, and like a lot of people want to be homeowners. So that's why it's at like this weird level kinda. Cause like it's a lot of people can't afford them, but also everybody wants them. So if you can't afford them, you're gonna get it. So it's just kind of weird. So it is like kind of coming down, but it's still like not all the way down to where like the average person might feel like they can. But there's a lot of programs and different programs that you can join, and lenders that you can work with that can help you still accomplish that goal.
Okay, so am I frozen? I think I'm
No, I can
frozen.
see you.
Okay, well, on my end, I'm frozen because so I have an iPhone. My iPhone is connected to, oh Lord, it's going to my FaceTime. My iPhone is connected to my computer, my Mac, and that's the reason I never want to switch over to an iPhone because it's all connected. So somebody just called me, and I had to deny the call. But anyway, sorry. So Debbie said, hoping to thread the needle in the spring, sell here in DC and move to Oregon, getting the best price on the buy and sell sides. Okay, okay. So you're in DC, sell here in DC. So you're in DC and move to Oregon. Wow, that's nice. Hopefully everything will work out for you, Debbie. She said, sorry, I know Atlanta is a blue island in a red sea, but I can't live in a red state for many reasons. She said, I have been there and it seems like a nice city. She said, what she said? She said, you're choppy, but okay. Okay, good. And then he said, hi, Lauren. David said, hi.
Hi, David.
Yeah, so sorry. So I might have missed some of what you said, Lauren, in regards to because like I said, my computer froze. So where you were saying about how the affordability, like really create more affordability levels for buyers trying to buy in the United States, you were saying.
Yeah, no, I was just saying that's kind of like what's adding a little bit to the imbalance. But what you was about to show
Oh,
us.
yeah. So yeah, sorry guys. There's a lot going on. People calling my phone. But anyway, so this is kind of the Metro Atlanta market. Well, let me not say Metro Atlanta market. So this is our FMLS, which is our first multiple listing service. We have two services that we utilize down here as realtors in the Metro Atlanta market. We have our GMLS and we have our FMLS. And so right here, this is the FMLS service. And what this is doing is this is showing you the entire FMLS. So this is not just showing you the Metro Atlanta area. This is showing you in entirety as far as where we're at when it comes to months of supplies of homes for sale. So it's saying if you guys can stay, we were at 4 months in October 2024, and we're down to 3.9. And so we dipped a little bit in November. So basically, it's just stating that either the homes that were listed on the market currently, they either got sold, or the homes that are listed on the market currently, they either got withdrawn or expired. So the seller might have took it off the market. Maybe they might be relisted all over come next year to possibly get a different price for it or something. So that kind of is showing you guys where our months of supplies is at right now. But we can go into, let me see, we can go into Atlanta real quick. Hold on. Let's say Atlanta. Let's go to Atlanta. I don't know if you guys can see me typing this stuff in, but we can go to Atlanta. Let's see what
Yes, we can
Atlanta.
see you.
Okay, I spelled Atlanta wrong. That's why I'm like, did I spell Atlanta? Okay, so what they say Atlanta wise right now, monthly supplies, if we're just in Atlanta, according to our FMLS system, just in Atlanta, they're saying as of November 2024, remember our MLS is a month behind, is 5.1 months of supply on the market. So technically, right now, if we want to say the Atlanta market, we're technically in a balanced market right now in Atlanta itself.
Yes, and you can also utilize like the seasons to work for you sometimes, because like people say in the wintertime there's less people moving, like especially if like people may have families and stuff, they might not want to move mid-year and things of that nature. So ultimately there can be less people buying in the winter, so that could be a good time for you to shop when there's less people shopping, less competitors, less offers you going against. So just things like that, like just kind of thinking outside the box when other people not doing something, that might be a good time for you to do it.
Yeah. Even Debbie said, I've been through Omaha on several trips, hoping you're keeping warm with the Arctic blast. She's talking about to David because he lives in Omaha, Nebraska. So yeah. So if you guys like those cold places, if you love, I actually never been to Omaha. I actually want to go visit Omaha. I told David that I have to come and see not only David, but I have to see my friend Warren Buffett. I don't know Warren Buffett, but you know. But he lives in Omaha, Nebraska. He said, I had a whole day to kill in Omaha years ago. It was Arbor Day. Everything was closed. She said, hey, MH, they having a party. They having a party inside the chat. I love it that you guys are here listening to this. I appreciate everybody tuning in. So let's kind of get back to what we're talking about in regards to some of more of the housing predictions. And I know you had some things because we want to kind of chat a little bit more. We probably won't get to everything that we had, honestly.
Oh yeah,
But we
I
want to.
did have some. You brought it just up on what I was about to say.
Okay, go ahead. Go
Just
for it.
about just the presidency and how politics in general can affect the real estate agent. I mean, can affect the real estate industry. So Trump is our new president, and some of the proposals that he was, speaking on during his campaign to address the housing shortage, including making federal land available for home building and addressing regulation, which estimates suggests contributes to more than $90,000 of the cost of a new home, which can help booster supply. So ultimately, one of Trump's ways to address it is to make federal land available for home building and addressing regulation. So hopefully, we hope that he's able to follow through on that, and that can actually help with it. And then also, the unemployment rate is expected to remain low, so that's good for all you job hunters out there and just us being employed and being able to save and get qualified for a home. It says that the unemployment rate is expected to be 4% and under, so household income is expected to grow a little bit higher next year.
So we are praying for that. We hoping for that. What Chloe said. I'm working on getting myself in a position to start the buying process at the end of 2025. I'm hopeful but nervous. Don't be nervous, Chloe. At the end of the day, like me and Lauren were stating earlier, it's again you're putting yourself in a position, right? I always tell people the first step is taking the first step. I know that sounds like what, but it's basically just taking the first step to start the path towards your homeownership journey, right? If you are nervous or if you have any questions, I always tell people it's great to actually reach out to a lender, really, or a real estate professional, and just ask questions. You don't have to be like, I'm, you don't have to start when you're ready to start per se, right? You can say, okay, I know I want to start the process at the end of 2025. I know I want to get as much information as I can, and I want to talk to a professional in the business so I can understand what I'm doing prior to kind of jumping into it. So I tell people the first step is taking the first step. So you got to take a step forward in order to get to the last to your ending goal, right? So I would just say instead of being nervous, the first step I would say is reach out to a local real estate professional in your area. Have this conversation. Don't feel like every realtor is trying to sell you. Find a realtor that's trying to provide that educational knowledge and can literally help support you and educate you through the process. And then if that's someone that has been great to you or the lender has been educational to you, then going forward, you can say, you know what, I appreciate all the information you gave me. I think I want to utilize you as my preferred lender or my realtor to help me with this process of buying a house, right? But definitely seek out professional help. What do you feel like, Lauren? Do you think she should seek out professional help to kind of lower that nervousness?
Yes, I was gonna say, just plan. Like, I know for me with my clients, when we have our first bio consultation or seller consultation, I learn their goals, but like specifically with the buyer, I try to put them on a savings plan, a financial savings plan, so we can really set like, okay, if we want to buy a home in 6 months, this is how much needs to be saved. Like, we really go through numbers on what the down payment would be on the house, like what numbers they should be expecting, and then breaking it down to how they can get to that based off what they make. So you can do that for yourself as well. So I think that just being prepared and going into it with a good agent and a good lender who are responsible, like and have a care for their craft, have a care for their art, a passion for what they do, and they want the best for their clients, then everything will work out in the end.
Yeah, I just say just you gotta start somewhere. Don't be nervous. It'll be once you get to where you want to be at, you'll be excited. But definitely start somewhere and just reach out to a professional and just have a conversation. And hopefully, and don't feel like you have to sign anything with them or do anything with them right away. You just want to have a conversation to get to your ending goal, right, Chloe? So you got it. Don't be nervous. You have Christina Smallhorn's channel. You have Jackie Baker's channel. You have David's channel. You have Living in Omaha, David Matney's channel. You have Kyle Win the House channel. You have Jen Sylvester channel. You have all these wonderful channels, all these YouTubers that are putting out great information around home ownership, home buyership, if that's a word, home buyer, I guess. So definitely tune into all those channels, and it's gonna work out. However you want it to work, it's gonna work.
Yeah,
With
and
this,
we just had a new joiner too, Candace Corker, aka Kit Kat.
oh, let me. Oh, I missed. Okay, how you doing, Candace? I didn't even see Candace come in. Thank you for joining us, Candace. What did Debbie? Debbie said something right here. She said, because this is kind of going back to what you had said, Lauren, as far as because Donald Trump did want to open up more federal lands. So she said, where would people work if they built homes in the bad lands or where else they have federal lands? So I know, like, I think I had this discussion on the live that I did when it said like 20. I did a live in regards to Trump in 2025 and housing predictions and different things like that. And I do know that most of our federal land is based on like the West Coast. So there is a lot of land that, but it's west. It's more of west, and I know those particular states are not the quote unquote states in which most people kind of want to flock to. But I don't know, Debbie. What do you feel? She said, where would people work if they built homes in the Badlands or elsewhere? That's the thing. It's like I don't know how much. See, because I'm not in those particular states where that federal land is at that could possibly be built on. I don't know anything about the workforce in those states. So I don't know. But I'll bring up the states that the federal, real quick, that the federal where we have
Yeah,
federal
I
land.
just pulled it up. It say the majority of federal land in the United States is located in the western states, particularly
Yeah,
in
right.
Alaska, with the highest
Mhm.
average of federal land being found in Nevada. This means most federal land is concentrated in the western part of the country, including states like Arizona, California, Colorado, Idaho, Montana, New Mexico, Oregon, Utah, and Wyoming.
Yeah, all that Federal Reserve land is all on the West Coast. So that's the thing, like telling what Debbie said and what MH08 said as well, almost all in Nevada federal land. So it's like, what is the job market out there? How much what people want to kind of live, maybe those particular weather temperaments. So you have to kind of adjust to it. If it's something that kind of sparks your interest, something that is where you kind of want to move, then it would make sense for that particular person, right? But if it's someone that's interested that loves certain areas or certain temperatures or certain things, it might be like, okay, let me stay in this state and just have to find a house that's affordable for me in this state, right? Because yeah,
Yeah.
most of that federal land is in he said MH08 said he said I'm listening, great presentation. Okay, my cousin said she's listening. Hey Lang, she can't chat in the live. I don't know why. It says it's federal land, it's public because it's worthless. um what did Debbie say? She said they need infrastructure too if they are thinking about building out what is basically raw, undeveloped land, which is true too. What Debbie said, right? Because if the land is raw and is undeveloped, they have to create some type of. They have to get the utilities over there, right? They have to have the plumbing connection, electrical hookup connection, Wi-Fi, all those type of things. So that is something to take into consideration. Could it be done if they're willing to put the money into it to create that infrastructure, like Debbie said, to build upon it? Of course, anything can be done, anything's possible, right? But it just, I guess it just turns around and say like who is interested and who like want to live over there. I think it would be great for people that already live in Nevada, great for people that live in Alaska, great for those communities, right? They can actually be able to, and Colorado and all that. I actually said I wanted to move to Colorado, so maybe if it happens while I'm there, I don't know. But what's going on, Eddie? Eddie Smallhorn, that is Christina Smallhorn, other half. Thanks for joining, Eddie. Appreciate you coming on tonight. Appreciate you guys. So, and then what did MH say? He said raw, undeveloped, with no water, no power, no roads. Yeah, so all that would have to be developed, of course.
Yeah,
But
they would really have to put jobs companies out there simultaneously with the houses, because you don't want to build houses and they just sit in there because there's no consumers out there. So what brings people is really jobs. Like people will move to random places for jobs and money. So if more companies get headquartered out there, then maybe there will grow potential for renters and buyers.
I agree, Lauren. That's the reason why we're getting so many people coming to Georgia, especially in Metro Atlanta area. We have so many jobs down here now, and so many people are flocking down here. We have like Lionsgate Studios building in Douglas County. So if you're in the entertainment field, we have the Triller Studios in Fayetteville, Fayette County. We have, of course, Atlanta. We have Tyler Perry Studios. So if you're in the arts, that's down here. If you're in the tech industry, you have Google, you have Microsoft. You know, if you're in fintech, like I always run into all these people that's like, I'm in fintech. And I should have just looked it up. And I asked one of the people one time that said they were in fintech. I was like, what is fintech? And they was like, it's financial tech. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, I didn't know what it was. I should have just looked it up. But we have so many different industries down here. And because of that, it's creating a mixture, almost like a melting pot down here. I was kind of say, like, I don't know how you feel about this, Lauren, because Lauren is from Atlanta, you guys. How do you feel about, I kind of call Atlanta like the baby New York as far as the melting pot where a lot of people are coming now, seeking jobs, seeking home ownership, and seeking, I guess, to try to create something better for their families. What do you feel about when it comes to like Atlanta?
Yeah, because even though when people like, if you're from Atlanta, you like, wow, these prices have gone so high. If you're coming from north, it's still lower. You still paying less and getting more than what you would pay up north. So there is still appeal, and we do still have a big market. I think the most people that move here come from like New York area, LA, even some Texas, and then like some surrounding states as well, like Alabama is another one. So and then we also have the airport as well. But so that's
Yeah.
why though. So I think a lot of people from here were like, wow, like we remember when this used to cost this price and this and that. But to others, it's still a deal, even at the price that it's set.
Yeah, like you said, like you being from Atlanta, you remember back then when things were a little less expensive, right? And like you said, the airport is a hub for Atlanta. Like Atlanta, you have Delta Airlines, which is from this Atlanta area headquarters here. You have Chick-fil-A. So there's a lot going on down here, and because of so many people flocking here, whether it be like you said from up north or people now from Florida that are coming up because of the whole national disasters happening down there, or California or Colorado, with all that happening, we're getting prices are kind of going up a little bit more, trickling up a little bit more or whatever. So, but David said, I mean, MHO said, he said, LOL, when I say no water, I mean there's no water anywhere. So he said there is no water. So I wonder, so it must not be close to any of the, like any rivers, any type of water outlets for there to be no water anywhere, MHO8. Debbie said, Greater Las Vegas would not exist without Hoover Dam. You need something like that to be funded before even considering building homes on undeveloped land. So basically, they're just stating that it needs to be water, of course, because us as human beings, we need, somewhere, some drinking supplies, some washing, flushing, in America, So he said Colorado
Yeah.
River is terrible. Or is already in trouble. Oh, is there a shortage in the Colorado River? MHO8. He says in trouble. I wonder. I know that when I was going through Pennsylvania. Sorry, this is off topic, guys. And we're gonna jump back in before we end this live. So I love how everybody's over here having great conversation. I just love it.
Yeah, because I was gonna say with the water, I would think that that would be something that they would do early on, like during the inspection period, to see if the sewage and the water is something that's capable of being built before actually building something. I would hope that the contractor would walk all through that. Like if this place can actually hold electricity, if sewers can be built, if water can be ran through here before actually building. But yeah.
I guess what they're saying too, outside of that, they're also saying that there is no water source there at all. So where would it pull from? Like Debbie was saying, Hoover Dam, Las Vegas would not exist without Hoover Dam. So, wait, am I saying right? Yeah, Hoover Dam. So I guess creating like a water source there, whether it be a reservoir type of lake situation that they have there, which eventually could typically run out too, if it's not being supplied per se. And water can only catch, rain can only catch for so much water, right? Um, and so I guess that water source in itself to kind of pull from, I think that's what they're kind of saying. I don't know. That's what they're saying. But he said, Debbie said, MH, that's an understatement. He said, water is pretty important. Yes, it is. It is very
It
important.
is, right? We need that to survive.
inmate said, "Oh yeah, feds are threatening to take over if the Colorado Basin states can't get it together." Ooh, that's not good. Well, we don't want the feds to take over, but I was just talking about the water thing. I was driving, so I'm originally from up north, of course, like the Pennsylvania, Jersey area. And when I was driving home recently, I went across the bridge to cross from Delaware to Pennsylvania, and this bridge, just talking about water real quick, this bridge that had a bunch of water before, like water in the lake, it was all dried up. I was like, oh my God. I was like, if global warming is not real, I keep telling, like, even though I stated a lot of people say it's not, I was like, literally, there was no water in this lake no more. It was crazy. He said, "LOL, I camped on the BLM land in Utah. There is no water, no rivers, no creeks, no lakes, bone dry over there." Yeah, see that's what I'm saying. There's nothing. All right, let's get back real quick. So when it comes to Will Holmes, because I'm like, we got into like, utilizing that federal land and being that there's no, utilities or water sources there, we kind of was talking about that. But yeah, but we need water. We need water. That is something we need. So it says, will home sales decline? It says the volume of homes sold fell off in 2024 with NAR existing home sales numbers finally rising slightly in order. In October, for the first time, what is this popping up on my screen? What is this? Y'all see that on my screen? What is that? I don't know what that is. Okay. For the first time since 2021, many buyers been staying on the sidelines and anticipating lower mortgage rates to come in 2025, hoping for prices to moderate. This is Lawrence Yun, who is the chief economist at the National Association of Realtors. He actually came. I don't know if you were there, Lauren, but he came to our last award meeting. I think he was there on the stage. I don't know if you went. Lawrence had came and he spoke to us about everything. He says home sales been essentially stuck at around 4 million unit pace for the past 12 months, but factors usually associated with higher home sales are developing. He also stated there are more inventory choices for consumers, lower mortgage rates than a year ago, and continued job additions to the economy. In fact, CoreLogic, a real estate data firm, predicts total home sales will increase 9% in 2025 compared to 2024, according to chief economist Salma Hep. In addition to lower mortgage rates helping drive home sale activity next year, greater availability of homes for sale will help home buyers' choices and improve affordability as it reduces the probability of bidding wars and escalating home price appreciation. The lower rates go, the more likely will be to see homeowners locked into lower rates finally feel comfortable about selling their current home to buy a new one. Roughly 70% of mortgage debt is currently below 5% interest rates. That's what Nina said. She said if rates continue to decline, we'll likely see the lock-in effect soften, and consumers will be more likely to purchase their home and take on a higher rate than they currently have. So I know Lauren kind of wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about the lock-in effect. So you want to tell them what the lock-in effect is in case people don't know what they're talking about as far as the lock-in effect?
The lock-in effect is basically people who currently own homes who have mortgages at a lower rate, so like at 3% or maybe that 4% under, them not wanting to sell their home and then get in a higher mortgage at the 6, 7, 8%. So therefore, they're holding on to their current mortgages, holding on to their homes, and that's also another reason that's contributing to the low inventory that we have out here, because a lot of the homeowners who really would be selling their home to move on to that next stage in life, like, buying that first home with the intention of it being a starter home, now is a little more nervous to sell that home because they're leaving their 3% interest rate and going into that 7 or 8. So the prediction is that once the interest rates start to go down, that will also encourage current homeowners to want to sell their homes, which will ultimately help with the inventory and improve inventory, because now more people are willing to sell their homes because when they buy a new home, they won't be in such a high interest rate.
And like not only that, about that lock-in effect with the interest rates being lower, because a lot of people, like you said, they kind of either refinanced, because before even the pandemic hit, I think the interest rates were in like the 3 and 4s in like 2019, 2018, 2017. So the interest rates were kind of lower around that time. And so people who had higher interest rates, maybe at 8%, 9%, some of them might have refinanced later on in like 2017, 2018, 2019. But then in 2020 and in 2021, when we had the pandemic, the interest rate softened even lower to 2% ish, and so everybody was out there buying. And now those people, like Lauren was saying, they have they don't want to buy anything because they're like, I don't want 6% interest rate, even though I want to move. I don't want to buy anything. Like I saw a recent article where it stated that most of the home buyers that will probably end up buying or selling their house in the future will probably be people that just bought in 2020, 2021. 2021, 2020, 2022, they said those will probably be the ones that will end up buying again because even though they have lower interest rates, some of them are like, I just want a different house, and they don't even want to stay. So, and then not only that, we have, like I was telling Lauren prior to us getting on here, we also have people who don't even have no mortgage. So now you have those people too. So let me show you guys real quick. It says not only, wow, okay, now it's not one of them. It says not only is 96% of mortgage debt in the U.S. fixed as a U.S. fixed rate, which basically they're saying everybody has a fixed rate with their mortgages. But it says also 38.5% of homeowners don't have a mortgage at all. So you have, not only do you have the lock-in effect with the interest rates, but then you also have home buyers who don't have mortgages and they don't want to sell. So that's where the inventory, like we were stating earlier, that's why it's lower now. Like we're having lower inventory per se, because some of these homeowners, they don't want to sell because they have either good interest rates or they don't have a mortgage at all, you know? So that's kind of, you know, what's going on. But that's the reason why we're kind of getting more home builders building new construction, because they're trying to hopefully put more inventory on the market. However, I don't know if you guys know this, but sometimes home builders don't always put their inventory into our MLS. So sometimes there'll be new construction communities being built, and they might not put them right away into our MLS. So because what they're trying to do is if they can sell it by themselves, they're going to try to sell it by themselves first before they involve another agent per se. But it's always great as a home buyer, you guys should always consult with a buyer's agent, because if most of you guys don't know, I love my sales agents over at the home, you know, the new construction builds, wonderful agents as well, but they represent the builder. They don't represent the buyer. The buyer is a customer, the builder is the client. So it's always great to have your own you know, advocate that is helping you through the real estate process.
Yeah, and
But
if you are working with the agent and you do go visit a new construction home and your agent may not be with you, just make sure you let the real estate agents on site know that you are working with the agent. And your agent can like also help advise you even with the new construction, or maybe you deciding if you want to get your own inspection done. So with new construction, they do give you like a walkthrough of the home and how to use all of the appliances and even like a small inspection in a sense. But you can order your own inspection in addition to get that third party just double confirmed. So, and when you work with a good agent like Devon and I, we make sure that all of that is in order for you to make sure that just you get a comfortable purchase even when it is a new construction, because even new construction, they built by people and people make mistakes, so new construction has to be double checked as well.
exactly. I see the comments saying, I think we're still talking about water over here. It doesn't rain much out west. I remember somebody told me that too. It's like it doesn't rain. When I used to live in LA, I lived all over you guys. Sorry, I used to live in LA. Everybody, they had the song called by Tony Tony. It doesn't rain in
We're in
Southern
Southern
California.
California.
And when January, February came and it started raining, I was like, I thought they said it don't rain out here. MA said, I know how important Western water issues are to the Atlanta market. Yeah. He said, bottom line is jobs drive people, jobs drive where people want to live, full stop. Exactly what Lauren said earlier. Jobs drive where people want to live at, what Lauren had stated earlier, creating that job economy over there. We also need clean water. The folks in Flint, Michigan have been having water issues. Yes, we all around the world, we need clean water. I remember the oil spill that happened as well. We need clean water. You know, we don't need, I don't even know what I'm drinking. This is a whole off topic too. I think I was because I've been looking for cleaner solutions of water, and they said like a lot of our water that's bottled has pesticides in it. Denver water is terrific. I do have a distiller though from my humidifier. Okay. Look at Gary, Indiana, a ghost town after the major industry left. They have plenty of housing, but who wants to buy into the market? No one. That's true. I feel like I
Do
have
you
a
feel
choice
like
there.
maybe like you could get a big like vacation type home? And not that you would want a vacation there, but I'm just trying to see who would still want to buy a house, even if it's not jobs there. You know, like it could still be maybe like a second home, I guess.
Like, I'm like, I do know, like Debbie saying with Gary, Indiana. So I guess I'll tell another little story real quick. I had took a road trip from Jersey to California, and we went through Gary, Indiana, because of course we want to go see where Michael Jackson lives, where he's from, right? Because Michael Jackson's from Gary, Indiana. And when I pulled up, when we got off the highway, coming from Ohio, going into that Indiana atmosphere, going to Chicago, we stopped at Gary, me and my friend, and we went to go see Michael Jackson, and just, I mean, his home. And just to get over there and see how desolate it is, how they're how like Debbie's saying, like there's nothing there no more. They used to be like a major area, right? And it's so crazy how once like steel mills like MH is saying, and like the small cities like Pittsburgh, all these areas in Gary, Indiana that had production over there with those type of things, when those industries kind of flopped from there, a lot of people left and it created like a desolate atmosphere. Um, so yeah, it is interesting. He said David Matney said at 100%, Lauren. And then he said Gary was booming when he was born. We're in the same year group, 1958. Yeah, like it's so interesting now. But like Lauren was saying earlier, the whole thing, and like you guys were saying too, inside, the comments, the whole thing around having a thriving industry there when it comes to the economy, when it comes to jobs, we need jobs are needed in order for people to make money to pay for housing, right? So we have to figure out what type of job market is near some of these places that might like homes are being built in. And that's the reason why, again, going back to Atlanta, I know you guys are not coming to Atlanta, Atlanta, but like going back to Atlanta, like it's booming down here with like more and more jobs popping up. That's why they're building more and more things like the Sun Belt part of America, whether it be Atlanta and different areas. They a lot of jobs have shifted here because one is cheaper to kind of build. Some tax incentives are happening down here, so it's kind of picked up down here. But you need jobs in order to actually have people and people buy homes, or rent, as like Ron was saying as well. So yeah, you guys. So we appreciate everybody joining in tonight. I don't know if Lauren has some more stuff to say. I know we kind of wrote off topic here and there, but we were just trying to talk about what we could possibly see in 2025 around what Trump, what they predict with his whole presidency, what he was kind of spewing out. I know he talked about tariffs too, but tariffs is going to take us in a whole different direction because the tariffs in turn will cause labor costs to kind of go up. Um, so I don't know. I guess my last prediction, what I was thinking, she said, "Oops." She said, "Oops, Clarke, it's getting choppy again. Good convo. Sorry." I'm like the StreamYard gets choppy with me all the time. Do you guys see me or no? I know it's choppy. I'm sorry. LOL. I used to have pickups and deliveries in Atlanta, not my favorite. But yeah, but in regards to the but I was saying when it came to the whole thing for 2025. Like, okay, so I guess we'll end on our predictions from me and Lauren. Okay, so I'll let Lauren go first, and then I'll say with my predictions. I feel like 2025 might
For 2025, I would say I feel like me and Devon will have a lot of transactions and stuff for 2025, but I feel like just on like a major scale, I'll lead a call on just all you can really control is yourself and your actions and what you're capable of. We can't really control like the market itself. So I would say the best advice I can give is to focus on the things that you can do, which is save your money and work on your credit and stay educated on the market and learn to build out your team, what real estate agent you want to work with, if you want to buy a fixer up and you need a contractor, and having those things in order so when you are ready to purchase, you're in that spot. So yeah, I would say that's why I say in 2025, I see me and Devon working with a lot of new buyers, helping people accomplish their real estate goals, We thankful that y'all even showed up here today, leaving comments, interacting with us. Like we thankful for your time. So thank you for having me. So that's my prediction, that we have some new buyers and some new sellers coming up, and people just putting their foot out there and getting into the real estate industry.
And so, Gabrielle said, thank you both. Very informative. Thank you for coming. Am I saying your mom's name right?
Yeah,
Gabrielle.
Gabrielle.
Okay. Okay. That says smash that like button, y'all. Yes, smash the like button. He said, boom. Oh, thank you, David. He gave me a super chat. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thanks for the channel shout out. Great stream. Thank you guys for joining. Of course, I'm always going to shout everybody out because the purpose of growing is to share. And that's the whole purpose. You know, one thing about me, I guess you could say, and I'll hopefully Lauren attests to this. I don't know. I always like to bring more people in and hopefully aspire and help people grow. And that's the path that I'm on. Like I appreciate you, David, for doing that. He said, make sure you subscribe and get Clarke up to 1,000. Yes, get me to 1,000. And we got to get Lauren to create a YouTube channel. Lauren, you have a YouTube channel, right? Put you on
No, I
YouTube
do
channel.
have TikTok and Instagram though, which is Real Estate Life with Lauren. And also, Devon, you have to tell us your 2025 real estate prediction.
Okay, let me put on here what your Instagram is. Your Instagram is at Real Estate
Life W Lauren.
Lauren. Okay, we're gonna put that across the ticker so you guys can follow Lauren on Instagram. And then she said, don't forget to subscribe. Yes, please subscribe. He said, I enjoy lively, informative discussions. Thank you guys. So my prediction for 2025 is, of course, like Lauren said, is to help people when it comes to, of course, buying and selling, but also what I want to say in turn is that we don't know where 2025 is going to take us, right? We have a new president coming into to the office. Well, he's not a new president; he's the old president returning for a second term. But we have a president coming into said office again, and we don't know what he's going to do. He said a lot of things, but we always know on these presidential trails and these campaigns, people always say what they're going to do. Some people do it, some people don't. So we don't know what's going to take into effect, how it's going to end up. And also, like Lauren was saying, if you're in the position to want to buy later on in the end of 2025, 2026, 2027, whatever, just get yourself in a position to do so. Because again, real estate is very individualized, it's very local, it's very central to where your city is, your county is, your state is. So make sure you are set up for success in that area. Because as a realtor, we don't know the future. All we can utilize is the data in which we see on our inside of our MLSs, inside of any type of census reports or any type of Fed reports, CPI things, different like that. So the best advice I can give in 2025 and where my prediction is that we gotta wait and see. I know people be like it's being indecisive, but I don't know. I just don't know because interest rates are currently in the sixes. I don't see them dipping that far down in 2025 because a lot of people might not know that, of course, interest rates, they're indirectly affected by the Fed rates, right? The Feds are there to slow down inflation, but they're not there to dictate mortgage rates. So it's an indirect situation. And with that being said, I don't know where the interest rate's going to go at, and I don't know where the home prices are going to go at. Like I told one of the buyers that I'm currently working with is that it's all based off a really price point, honestly. I feel like higher price points might dip down a little bit, but I feel like lower price points might go up. Because if you get more first-time buyers in the market that can only afford a certain price point, they're all going to be at that price point buying, which is going to force things to go up. But if you get second-time home buyers who are moving up to the next level, but they don't want to pay, say, $600,000 for a house, those houses might soften. So you might get the adverse effect depending on where you're at, but everything's local to where you're at. So I don't know what's going to happen in 2025, but what we do know is that Lauren will be around in 2025 helping home buyers and home sellers making their real estate goals come true. We got to get her a real estate YouTube channel so she can get on here and start talking to y'all as well. But if not, you guys can definitely follow her below. It's her Instagram handle, Life Real Estate Life with Lauren. I also put it inside the description below. So if you're watching this on the replay or watching this back after our live today, please go down, please support Lauren. She is in the Atlanta, Georgia metropolitan market. She is a real estate advocate, advisor, and also a leasing manager right over at a complex and an apartment complex in Atlanta as well. Right, leasing manager, right?
Yep, leasing manager. So I work on their leasing and marketing, and we are in East Point, Georgia. So yeah, I'm here to help you reach your real estate goals. So just reach out if you have any questions, and thank you for having me, Devon.
No problem. So we're gonna hit these last little things and say, as a member of Grover Cleveland Fan Club, I was disappointed. I don't know what they're talking about. You understand? Difficult to see, always in motion in the future. Exactly, Debbie. It's difficult to see, but it's always in motion in the future. Exactly. We don't have a crystal ball, so we can't see, but we can see in front of us, right? And make like Perez. Yeah, you guessed it, Debbie. Okay, I think they are. Oh wow. Okay then. And then I'm fascinated by presidents' wives, so I'll research Francis. I think they're talking about something else. I don't know. But I appreciate you guys joining us tonight. We will talk to you next time. And don't forget, every Sunday, 6:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. live on Clarke's YouTube channel. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button so we can go through these algorithms. And then remember, don't forget to go over and support our comment section as far as the YouTube channel, MHO8 YouTube channel, Debbie Brady, Future Shaper YouTube channel, Gabrielle Clarke, David living in Omaha with David Matney, James Clarke as well, and anybody else. Hopefully I didn't miss, let me get your friends too. Eddie Smallhorn, which is Christina's other half, so support Christina Smallhorn's channel, Chloe W's channel, Candace Croker, aka Kit Kat, support her channel. And also, I think one of your other friends jumped in here, I believe. Oh, Impress Florals, support his channel as well. I think I got everybody. If I missed you guys, blame it on my head and not my heart. And we will see you guys next Sunday.
Yes,
All right.
thank you all.
Bye-bye.